Hello, hello, and welcome everyone. Welcome to Vitatree Shopping Day. It is deal day, and this is so exciting. I'm so glad to have you all here. Please say hello and put a little note in the comments section. Great to have you here. We are shopping together. We have never seen before deals that are happening for deal day. It is a 24-hour deal day only for those 24 hours, and while our supplies last, things are moving very quickly, and I want to show you the offers that we've got going today. Okay, so our big deal day offer up to 35% off, and yes, you can put that on subscription, and this is amazing. And that with that subscription, you will get free shipping as well every time it's coming to you. So that is an extraordinary deal, as well as we'll be talking about zinc plus quercetin. So of course our vitamin D3, 'tis the season that we are losing that sun. We need to make sure we're optimizing our D3 levels. We will be talking about zinc plus quercetin as well. But this is our deal day item. Remember, just for 24 hours and a one-time fee, US dollars $41.98, and we have the ability for you to do it on interest-free payments as well. So you can split up your payments to make it a little bit easier for you. And of course, the subscription is available as well at $37.78 USD. Incredible. It is a 2-bottle offer. Each bottle has 90 capsules, and these are not the same as your regular vitamin D3. If you've taken vitamin D before, you've got to listen up because this is completely different in terms of formulation. I am the formulator. Welcome on in. I'm Dr. Janine, naturopathic doctor. Maybe you've seen me on social media. Please say hello, and if you do have questions, put them in the comment section. Vitamin D3. I mean, this is so important. We're going to go through some of the symptoms that your body could be telling you that you have a vitamin D deficiency. We have vitamin D receptors in our brain, in our lungs as well. So you can imagine some of the symptomatology that may go along with having that low vitamin D level, as well as on our skin, as we know. And even for digestion, we have to optimize our proper vitamin D levels. When we talk about having healthy gums and teeth, yes, having, of course, that vitamin D, and of course, our skeleton. So for our bone density, we will be talking about this. A lot of soreness in your muscles can be related to a vitamin D deficiency as well, but this becomes really important for our bone density. So maintaining our healthy hips, our spine, we need that vitamin D3 to optimize our proper calcium absorption and to maintain that proper calcium status and the other minerals, of course, that make up our bone density. But this is an incredible option today for you, and I want to let you see now, of course, what is your body telling you when you're low in vitamin D3? And there's a big difference with the Vitatree vitamin D3. Just really quickly, these are soft, chewable, delicious gel caps, and they're in a fat-soluble form, which makes them very different from other vitamin Ds, and in the delivery system of MCTs. So this is from coconuts, and that's going to help with that delivery. They help with that proper absorption, sweetened naturally with monk fruit. So it's not going to spike your blood glucose levels, and they taste like little lemonade candies. So they are so yummy. They're soft, chewable gel caps, so great for the children as well. But here, how do we know that we're low in that vitamin D3, right? Because the sun is going away for a lot of us, depending on where you live. If you're away from the equator, this is really important that we're optimizing our levels. So if you've got dental issues, that could be in your gums, in your teeth, difficulty with having cavities, this could be for the kids as well, because that calcium isn't being deposited properly as it should be for bone density, for your dental health as well. We need to maintain that proper vitamin D status, as well as asthma, chronic lung issues related back. Remember, we have vitamin D receptors in the lungs related back to that D3 deficiency, as well as regulating our blood glucose levels. So if you've got troubles there, yeah, optimizing your vitamin D becomes really important. Bone density, as we talked about, but also what's the number one symptom of being low in that vitamin D3? We think, oh, it's just the darker, colder weather coming in. It's fatigue, lack of energy, lack of motivation, even anxiety, depression related back to being deficient in your D3. High blood pressure, coronary artery disease, and muscle aches. So that nagging muscle aches, especially I find in the low back, is really common in the colder months, related back to that low vitamin D3. But again, what makes the Vitatree vitamin D3 so different? Well, as a whole, in terms of all of my formulations, and I am the formulator, I'm a naturopathic doctor, this is really important because I have used not only my clinical experience, but also all of my knowledge and research that I've gone into formulation. There's a lot of information they kind of don't want you to know out there in terms of what they're putting into their vitamins when you're taking other vitamins and supplements out there. So formulated by myself, I've done a lot of research on this, but also, of course, using whole food ingredients. The sheep's wool lanolin is where we derive our vitamin D3, and that's important because of that high absorption. No magnesium stearate. This is something that will be a theme in all of our live shows. I'll explain that to you. If you don't know what magnesium stearate is, it's something that we don't use in any of our formulas at Vitatree. And it's never been tested to be safe for long-term human consumption, and yet it's in most of the vitamins out there. So you're not going to find that on the label. As well as no added fillers or other flow agents. Again, true to the Vitatree brand, which is very different, and that's why you get that high absorption. So whether you want this for beautiful skin, for your bone density, for the fact that, you know, maybe you have low moods, SAD, seasonal affective disorder, going into the darker months now, you have to optimize your vitamin D levels. Of course, for your bone density, as we talked about as well, vitamin D3 plus your magnesium, calcium, vitamin K2, these are all super important to maintain that proper bone density. Maybe you've had a scan done, maybe, you know, it's been talked about the fact that your bone density is suffering. Well, this is really important that we're optimizing that vitamin D status, especially when we're not getting that sunlight exposure to optimize our vitamin D through our skin. A lot of people, of course, use sunscreen, you wear sunglasses, and I talk about that in my social media, that is not going to allow for your proper signaling from the sun to get that vitamin D, plus a whole host of other things that I talk about in my book, and I'll talk about my book as well, which we are offering in this hour of live shopping, which is so amazing today. Okay, so some testimonials on the Vitatree Vitamin D3. This is from Jay. I use D3 in combination with magnesium, and I found that my health is maintained in a positive way. The twitching of my calf muscles have reduced. Also from Sylvia, I love the taste of these. They are small and easy to swallow as well. And this is from Maria. These work so well. Had a vitamin D level of 41, and 3 months after starting these, it's now up to 137. So thank you so much, Maria. Thank you to all of our testimonials and reviews, of course, that come in. It's always so great to hear from you. And if you do have questions, please put them in the chat section. Remember, go to Vitatree.com. If you're watching me from somewhere else right now, go to Vitatree.com so that you can interact with us. And maybe I'll be able to read your question live as well. All right, so that was our D3 offer. What is coming up? So I will do a full presentation on our zinc plus quercetin, what makes this so important, especially this time of year, but so different from other zinc formulas. If you know about zinc, this becomes really important for our immunity, for our hair, for our skin, for the scaffolding of our collagen. We need to have zinc, but in an absorbable form. So this is our super sale. This deal is going to last up to 7 days or while supplies last. And this is our 2-bottle offer, which is amazing. Again, a one-time fee of $55.02 US. And if you put this on subscription, and remember, this is free shipping, and you don't have to worry about cancellation. There's no cancellation fee. So if you want to do this, this is usually our most popular item, subscription. And that price is $49.52 US. Never seen before pricing before. Huge offers when we do have live shopping now, which is brand new for us here of course, on Vitatree.com, which is amazing. All right, so here we can see magnesium. Now, taking the right type of magnesium becomes very important. And, you know, there are all different types of magnesium out there, but magnesium bisglycinate is my formulation without any fillers or flow agents. So here's something that I want you to be aware of. Most of the vitamins in the marketplace, they have these fillers that just to fill up the capsules, to fill up the tablets. This is a big one, microcrystalline cellulose, and this is basically made from wood chips, and they use it to fill up the capsules. Now at Vitatree, all of our raw materials, all of the important ingredients, imagine this is the capsule. Well, that's what fills up the capsule. What they do from other companies is that they can use up to 95% filler. So it's got filled up with this stuff. They don't have to disclose on the label how much filler they're actually filling up the capsules or tablets with, but this is what's happening. And this is what I learned to discover. You know, I was practicing as a naturopathic doctor and started to get this inside information from the vitamin industry. I don't know, this information just kind of found me. I wasn't necessarily looking for it at the beginning. I'm like, what? How can this be? I mean, even, you know, the most expensive vitamins that I was prescribing to my patients at the time, they had these fillers and flow agents, and I was shocked to find that on the labels. So that's when I started really digging and looking into vitamin formulation, and I knew I had to do something. I had to do something better because I didn't any longer want to give, you know, those types of supplements with all these fillers and flow agents. And a big one is magnesium stearate, which is a flow agent that they use to help to speed up production time, so it makes things less sticky. So for instance, magnesium, they put magnesium stearate, and you're going to see that on the label. It's not magnesium. It could say vegetable stearic acid as well. And again, it is a chemical that has never been tested to be safe for long-term human consumption, yet it's in most of the vitamins and supplements out there, and it decreases the absorption of whatever it goes on top of. So that's a big distinctive difference at Vitatree, is that of course our formulas don't have these fillers. There's no dilution happening. They don't have the flow agents. And these capsules I'm going to show you, I'm going to open one of these up for you so that you can actually see the rapid absorption. And then we're going to go and look at some of the, you know, deficiency symptoms. So what is your body telling you with magnesium deficiency, which is so important? All right, because quite likely your body's talking to you, maybe you're just not listening to it, and that's why you're not feeling so great. And to be honest, most of us have a magnesium deficiency unless we're actively doing something to help to maintain our magnesium levels. All right, so if I open up now the Vitatree Magnesium into a little bit of water, so this is tasteless. I actually make an electrolyte drink myself for the kids, for myself, the entire family really. We use this with a little bit of salt, and that is going to help to balance your electrolytes. And you see that rapid absorption. That's because we don't have the fillers and the flow agents. That's why we get, you know, that rapid absorption. And how we take the Vitatree Magnesium is a little bit different probably than what you've probably heard. And we always hear about taking magnesium closer to bedtime. Why? Because it helps with sleep. Well, it does relax the nervous system, but we know that magnesium also is multifactorial in all of the different organ systems. And this is what, you know, the signs and symptoms of being low in that magnesium, you're going to see what's happening. All right. So if you have twitches in your eye, that can be related to a magnesium deficiency. Headaches, so if you are prone to headaches, that could be migraine headaches, tension headaches, cluster headaches, any type of headache, and it's chronic, it keeps coming back. Magnesium deficiency, I'm telling you, I don't know how many people I've been able to help, probably hundreds, maybe not even thousands now, with just the fact of taking the Vitatree Magnesium every day. 2 capsules is your standard dosage, and I prefer you actually take it in the morning because it's helping with so many different things. It's helping with your heartbeat, with your stress levels, with headaches, with your moods even, with anxiety, should be on here as well. That's why I want you to take it in the morning. And a big factor of the Vitatree Magnesium is that because of the type it is, the bisglycinate, it helps with your metabolism. So if you're having trouble getting that extra weight off, it's going to help with your metabolism of your carbs, your fats, and your proteins. And that's one of the reasons why I like for you to take it in the morning. Okay, muscle relaxation, muscle recovery. So if your muscles have a hard time with recovery, this is important. I hope that you're, exercising, doing some form of exercise, movement, and you find that you're really sore after. That could be a magnesium deficiency, especially in the menstrual cramps as well, because we know that magnesium is a natural muscle relaxant. That can be related to your magnesium deficiency as well. Energy metabolism, so for our carbs, our fats, and our proteins, our macros, as well as for your nervous system, is very gentle on digestion, so it doesn't cause, even if you take a little bit more, it does not cause loose stools. Most of the magnesiums out there are actually laxatives, and that's why if you take too much, you get diarrhea. That isn't the type that we're talking about here with the Vitatree Magnesium. It is a non-laxative form, and again, it's not going to cause nausea, no stomach pain, and no diarrhea. So there you go, the Vitatree difference. It really is different, and if you've not yet tried the Vitatree supplements, I encourage you, please, today is a great opportunity with our live shopping. Really check things out. You can also go and if you want to call, so we do have a toll-free number. It's really easy to remember, 1-844-GET-WELL, all right? And that's something that you can definitely make sure that you are using that number. Here we can see with acid reflux as well. So if you have GERD or acid reflux, maybe I can show you here really quickly, because magnesium is a natural muscle relaxant, I actually want you to open up the 2 capsules of your magnesium in some water first thing in the morning. And what this is going to do, because it's a muscle relaxant, it's going to help to relax the muscles, help to keep that stomach acid down in the stomach. We can see with reflux what's happening is that stomach acid is coming up. We don't want that happening. We want to make sure that we're maintaining it and keeping it in the stomach. We need to relax this. When we relax this, this closes and keeps that stomach acid down. Plus there's another lower sphincter, and that's going to help to relax that so that the whatever's in the stomach can then come out of the stomach, and we're keeping that acid down in the system, not having it come up the esophagus and of course causing that acid reflux and that heartburn. All right, I want to show you some testimonials really quickly. Our magnesium reviews. So this is something that, this is from Erica. Sometimes you don't know what the body needs till it's got it. Thank you, Dr. Bowering, for educating us about this magnesium. It's a clean ingredient without any other agents, and that makes us feel safe. Love this magnesium. I feel great and helps my daily life full of energy. Thank you, Erica, so much for sharing your testimonial online. That's on Vitatree.com. Thank you so much. And this is from Purple Yam. Thank you, Dr. Bowering, for educating us about this magnesium. It's a clean ingredient without any other agents that makes us feel safe. Love this magnesium. I feel great, and it keeps me having lots of great energy. Well, thank you so much. Thank you so much for tuning in today. If you're new here with our Vitatree live shopping, it's great to have you here. Please, if you're watching somewhere else, please go to Vitatree.com so you can interact with us as well if you do have questions. And JS says, wow, magnesium stearate is in everything. Great to see that Vitatree doesn't use it. Yeah, I know. It's so shocking when you start to look at all your vitamins at home, which I suggest you do. I'll be right back.
We're so glad you joined us for Vitatree Live Shopping with Dr. Janine Bowering. Stock up and save up to 35% on your favorite Vitatree products at Vitatree.com. Need help or have a question? Call 1-844-GET-WELL or email our team at hello@Vitatree.com or chat with us in the comments for live answers from Dr. Janine.
Okay, welcome back, and thank you for joining me today. I'm Dr. Janine. If you're just tuning in right now, we are shopping live on Vitatree.com. Never seen before offers, especially our deal of the day. So cycling back to that really quickly, our vitamin D3 at 35% off, up to 35% off on our subscription. And of course, our super sale at up to 30% off on our zinc plus quercetin. These are some of our most popular items, especially this time of year. So please make sure that you are putting those in your cart for checkout, and incredible, incredible offers, especially with the subscription, because we are guaranteeing that price for 1 year that you'll be able to get, of course, your favorite Vitatree items. And if you're new to Vitatree, welcome on in. What a great day to tune in. We are live shopping, and these deals are only available. So our deal of the day is only available for 1 day. That's why it's called Deal Day. 1 day only, 24 hours, or if we run out of quantity, then it's gone, then sorry, you missed out on it. And I know it's such a popular way to shop now is with live online shopping. So I'm so happy to have you here. I am the formulator of the products. We are moving on, and we are talking about the AccuBlood sugar balance. So this is all about balancing our blood glucose levels. And that's why I created this product very, specifically to help with regulating our blood sugar. But even, at the back of my mind, because I know that high insulin, high blood glucose is highly, highly related to what goes on with our metabolism and our ability or inability to actually get at that fat and actually lose some weight. Well, there's definitely that correlation, and there's a lot of emerging research that's going into this correlation right now. I'm sure you've heard about these big drugs that are out there, the once a week kind of things that a lot of people are losing a lot of weight very rapidly. It comes with some side effects perhaps, but this is something that we know now with having that effect at balancing our blood sugar levels, and that's what the AccuBlood is all about. Now we can do that and balancing that insulin response. So insulin is kind of like a lock and key mechanism. In order for our cells to be able to utilize this glucose, we need to have that insulin. That insulin cannot be blocked, and with insulin resistance, which is so common, And usually it's a leptin problem that happens first, so leptin resistance before we get the insulin resistance. What's happening now is that this gets blocked, and now we have excess glucose that's going to be floating around in our bloodstream. And in a state of high insulin, but with insulin resistance, what happens is that instead of fat being able to be burned off and utilized as energy, unfortunately, that fat gets stored. And this is why a lot of people, they just can't pin it. You can't, maybe you're doing, you're being conscientious about your diet and you're moving more, you're exercising more, and yet you're still gaining more and more weight. And you're asking yourself, okay, what am I missing? What's going on? Well, maybe it's your insulin. Maybe it is that glucose response that is not modulated the way that it should be for you. And of course, everybody is different. And that's why the testimonials that we have on this product alone are incredible. We have one customer who now has lost over 23 pounds just from taking the Acu blood sugar balance. It is incredible just for balancing blood sugar. And she said even her cravings for sweets and the carbs actually were completely dissipated, which of course helps to contribute to the fact, hey, if you're not looking and always wanting those carbohydrates, that's going to have a big impact on the fact that, you're not always eating them and of course gaining more weight. So that's why I love the ingredients in the formula. And this is where I did a lot of research in terms of being able to find that balance with the blood glucose levels, is that the ingredients that I chose to formulate in the Acu blood sugar balance have those effects exactly. So the African wild mango seed, actually one study on this herbal medicine found that it helped to decrease specifically belly fat and around the buttocks, can I say? That's what they said in the study. So yeah, so that belly fat and kind of this section where it's hard for a lot of people to lose that excess fat, that's just from the African wild mango seed in one study. White mulberry leaf is known to help to stabilize blood glucose levels. Muscat and grape skin also does that, helps with the insulin response. Gymnema sylvester is really interesting. If you've never heard of this herbal medicine, it helps with satiety. So that means, helps you to keep you full longer after you've eaten your meal, which can be really, really, helpful. Some people, especially if you've got a leptin resistance problem, you're hungry all the time. You're always looking for more and more food, and it's very difficult to control that mentally and physically because you're always looking for your next meal. You're always looking for that food. So really getting these things under control from the hormonal perspective, that's kind of my thinking behind when I formulated the Acu blood sugar balance, which is remarkable. Okay, no magnesium stearate, so true to the Vitatree brand, different from everything. And remember, all natural ingredients. These are all herbal medicines. No magnesium stearate, no synthetic ingredients, and no fillers or flow agents, true to all my formulas, which is amazing. Okay, the standard dosage on the Acu blood sugar balance is 2 capsules a day. You could split them up. You could take them together. So maybe you have one meal in the day where you're really spiking your blood glucose. I really don't like you to do that, especially right before bed. So high insulin before bed is going to make you pack on the weight and affect your melatonin levels and your sleep. You don't want to do that. So maybe you take your 2 capsules after your last meal of the day, which ideally is earlier, not too late. Okay, you're going to learn about that if you haven't yet followed me on social media, all about, some of my rules and some of the things that and we will talk about my book that I share in my latest book in the Lost Medicine as to how to optimize your diet and for hormonal balance, but for the weight loss as well. So, or you could take 1 capsule twice a day. So maybe this is what I'm doing right now. 1 capsule, I change all the time, but 1 capsule right now before lunch and 1 before dinner to help to stabilize blood glucose levels. And here's the other thing. Lynn, hello. Thank you for tuning in today. Here's another thing about blood sugar. You don't even need to eat carbs anymore to spike your blood sugar. And you're like, what? And this is actually in my book as well. And I share this, and it's something I've talked about on television a lot too, is that all of the artificial lights that we live under now, not being under natural sunlight, full spectrum light, this is going to raise our blood glucose levels, and that's something that can be really, really challenging. So the Acu blood sugar balance is going to have to help to stabilize that. Okay, let's look at some testimonials, some reviews really quickly on the Acu blood sugar balance. Remember, all about balancing your blood glucose levels. It works. I've been taking this for over a year, and I noticed quite a difference in my levels. It's definitely helped manage my blood sugars. Thank you, Cheryl, so much for sharing your story. That is amazing. As well as Kelly. Kelly said, I ordered the Acu blood for my husband, and it's working on that stubborn weight around his waist. So yeah, for targeting that belly fat, amazing. Usually there's a connection with that insulin response. and that blood sugar. I noticed he slimmed down after just taking one bottle along with the fat factors. The fat factors, if you don't know, that's one of my other formulas here at Vitatree. And we're not talking about it in this hour, but we will definitely get to it in one of our live shows, I promise. You can check it out online as well on Vitatree.com. That combination actually of the Acu blood sugar balance plus the fat factors, if you're really trying to target some fat loss quickly, that combination is amazing. And also from Lisa. Lisa said, I bought this for my mom and she is thrilled. It actually helps and is natural. So thank you so much. It's so great to hear from you all. Lisa, thank you so much. Lynn, you said you love to hear about vitamins and minerals. I'm so glad. Thank you for tuning in today and for joining the conversation. Hey, everybody, go to Vitatree.com. And even if you want to just say hello, I'd love to hear from you. If you do have any questions about dosage, as the show is live today, then please put it in the comment section. Of course, I have my team behind the scenes that's helping me, but if I can, I will try to answer your questions live as well with our live shopping. Remember, we are live shopping. This is, and great that we can do now worldwide shipping. Please go to Vitatree.com. And of course, we have our toll-free telephone number, 1-844-GET-WELL. And if you do have questions by email, you can definitely email as well, hello@Vitatree.com. And great to have you all here. All right, so we are continuing now. And now we are going to our memory and brain. All right, so who needs a little bit of a boost for your brain power? A little bit more of that cognitive flushing, let's say. We need to have that proper blood flow. Of course, that glucose coming up to the brain, and that's why I formulated the Memory Plus Brain. Now, the important thing about this, if we look at the herbal medicines, in the formulation, it is also a brain detox. All right, so yes, we know that things like heavy metals, things like aluminum and other heavy metals, they can actually get into the brain and have a negative effect. But here we can see these are the ingredients, all natural in their memory and brain support. So chlorella, which is a blue-green algae, and naturally has some protein, but it also has our B vitamins. It has the accessory nutrients that really helps to support our brain function and our energy levels. But it also works like a trap. So it traps heavy metals. It's called chelation. So it can chelate those heavy metals and decrease their negative effects on the brain. Now, a lot of research has gone into things like aluminum and how that can affect your brain and cognition, especially as we're aging. That was my main thinking of putting the chlorella within the formulation. But Copa monieri, this is a very specific antioxidant that helps to support and actually, nullify the negative effects of those free radicals in the brain. And ginkgo biloba, if you've heard of ginkgo, it actually helps with that. It's called peripheral circulation, so helping to send blood to the extremities and to the brain. So the brain requires that glucose, it requires that oxygenation, it requires that blood flow, and this really does wake up your brain. So 2 capsules a day is your standard dosage on this. Again, without the fillers, without the synthetic ingredients, no synthetic vitamins in here, no fillers, no flow agents, true to the Vitatree brand, and makes, all of the Vitatree formulas so different compared to what's out there. Again, there's not any of this, the magnesium stearate. So please check all your vitamin bottles at home. It is so important that your vitamins do not contain magnesium stearate. It's actually a flow agent. It's a chemical. It's not magnesium, but it's a chemical that they use to help to speed up production times. And it can cause acid reflux and heartburn and heart palpitations and stomach ache and nausea. And some people that are actually sensitive, you didn't know that your vitamins are actually making you feel not well, but it's a chemical and it's never been tested to be safe for long-term human consumption. So that's something I just want you to be aware of. With, of course, at Vitatree, that's one of the big distinctive differences at Vitatree is that we don't use those fillers, the flow agents. We don't use that magnesium stearate, which is so important. All right, so when we're talking about that brain health, again, 2 capsules a day is your standard dosage of the memory and brain. I actually like to take it sort of mid-afternoon, like around this time, Eastern Standard Time, maybe a little bit earlier, like 2 to 3 p.m. Great time to kind of boost up that brain power, especially when I'm doing a lot of research. This is really fantastic. And you can really feel it. You can really feel that brain power coming up. All right, so Lynn is asking, yes, microplastics, we definitely have to be aware of those in our environment, and detoxing those becomes very important. That's why if you caught us last week for a kind of sneak peek of our live shopping, we did talk about our detox protocol with the Vita Detox, as well as Lynn has a question about magnesium stearate is not good No, not good, all right? So this is a chemical, it is not healthy, and again, it's not been tested to be safe for consumption. And if you look at the material data safety sheet, and I actually looked at it yesterday for vegetable stearic acid and magnesium stearate, they make it sound like if it's vegetable stearic acid that it's more natural, it's from vegetables. Not so much. They've never done the testing in terms of reproductive harm, in terms of, how negatively it is actually affecting your cellular health, and that becomes important. So this is all the research that I do all the time. All right, so memory and brain reviews. This is from Amanda. Thank you so much. This helps me to recall quicker, and I feel more focused throughout the day. Well, thank you for sharing that, Amanda. Amazing. 5 stars from Rebecca. I can't believe the difference I feel by taking this supplement. I know, it's amazing. It just wakes up your brain. Great for anybody who's studying or you need to stay on task in terms of your job. This becomes important as well. And Cheryl said, since my husband and I started using Memory and Brain, there is a difference. I am better at recalling. I saw more of an improvement in him because he is more consistent with taking the supplement. Isn't that funny? Yeah. You can't forget to take the Memory and Brain support. All right, it's kind of funny. You will remember to start taking your vitamins. Isn't that funny? Because I know a lot of people, yeah, you have good intentions. You take your vitamins, or maybe not. Maybe you don't always remember to take them. All right, we are moving on. Remember, today is deal day. We have fantastic sales happening today. And of course, our deal of the day is our vitamin D3. We will maybe come back to that a little bit. Again, soft, chewable gel caps, delicious, incredible offers today on subscription, $37.78. I've never seen this price before for Vitatree, which is amazing, and free shipping option if you go with subscription. Now, if you just want the one time, of course, it's $41.98 US. So please put it in your cart. Make sure that you are stocking up, especially this time of year. I'm not sure if or when we will see the pricing on the D3 as low as this. So just FYI, you may want to stock up a little bit. And that's why it's a great way to go with subscription with the free shipping, because you'll get it as you need it. For the next year, we can guarantee that price. And remember, if you want to split your payments on the one time, you can definitely just make it a little bit easier for you. You can divide up your payments with the interest-free payments. So if you wanted to do that, that is an option for you as well. So lots of options for shopping today. I'm so glad to have you all here. I'm Dr. Janine, the formulator of the Vitatree products, and so happy. Maybe you've seen me on social media. So happy that I can now share everything that I do on television. I can share with you here, and really educate you why it's so important to know the difference between standard vitamins, and even, don't get me wrong, even some of the very expensive ones that I used to prescribe to my patients had all of these fillers and flow agents, which was quite shocking to me when I started to do the research on all these things that I believe simply should not be in your vitamins. And that's how I came to formulating the Vitatree products. All right, we are moving on now, and we're talking about our circulation. So veins and circulation formula. This is all about improving our circulation. And your body could be telling you that you've got, maybe some varicose veins happening. It could be spider veins as well. So on the left here, what we see is a healthy vein. And what's happening, you can notice that this lower valve is closed properly. We can see that that blood is flowing back up through the cardiovascular system as it should, which is a good thing. Now, with varicose veins, and maybe some sort of backup that's happening here, is that that valve is not properly closing. Maybe we have a more sedentary lifestyle. Maybe we're a little bit overweight, and that's going to put more pressure on these veins. Maybe the vein walls are thinning out a little bit, and now we have increased pressure in the system. And see what's happening now. We get that backflow of the blood. We don't have that proper blood flow back the way that it should be. The veins are bringing that blood back up to the heart. And this can be a problem, right, with chronic venous insufficiency. And what are some of the symptoms of that? Well, it could be the varicose veins. It could be the spider veins. And we'll come over here. It could even be, so you're seeing, the lumps and the bumps and the blue highways happening on your legs. Usually this is where you're going to notice them first. But also it could be hemorrhoids. So if you have chronic hemorrhoids, poor circulation in general. It could be high blood pressure related back to that poor circulation, swelling in the feet and in the ankles, especially after a long day, and maybe you've had some, tighter socks on or shoes, and you take them off at the end of the day, and you can still see the imprint for a little bit from your socks and your shoes on your feet, and you notice, there's a little bit of swelling here. Yeah, this is what this formulation is all about. Cold hands and feet as well can be related to poor circulation, cramping, and especially at nighttime related to poor circulation as well. Itching and heaviness feelings in the legs and feet, this can happen in the cold. It can happen during a walk with exercise as well when that circulation is not optimized. And that dreaded cellulite. Okay, ladies, let's talk about cellulite, shall we? Yes? All right, we're gonna go on over here and let's talk a little bit about what's happening here. And I'm gonna show you the herbal medicines in the formula next in the veins and circulation. But remember, when we were young, or maybe this is you right now. I don't know who I'm talking to, but please say hello if you are here. And yes, maybe this is what's happening. Sal had a question earlier. What time should you take the blood sugar balance? I like it usually after my second and third, or just before or just after your second and third meal of the day, if you have 3 meals a day. Usually after your highest carbohydrate or blood sugar spiking meals, that's when you want to take the one of the 2 capsules. So it's 2 capsules a day is your standard dosage. You could take the 2 capsules together after your dinner, or one just before or after your lunch, and then one just before or after your dinner. I hope that makes sense, Sal. All right, great question. Thank you for asking that. All right, if you're just tuning in, we're talking about our veins and circulation formula, all about helping to optimize our circulation when we were young ladies. Remember the flat, imagine the backs of the legs, the buttocks, nice and flat and smooth. Well, what happens over time is that we can get an accumulation of extracellular fluid, circulation gets compromised, and because our fibrous tissue, so our connective tissue for women, is pulling things down, this is where we get the dimpling effect and the lumps and the bumps and poor lymphatic flow because of our physiology. And it's, yeah, hormones definitely play a part. If you're holding on to excess weight, that's going to play a part as well. But this is something that we definitely want, if we could, help to flush this out and that extra fluid. Well, here's the great thing about the veins and circulation formula. I'm going to show you the ingredients. They can help to smooth things out again, helping to decrease those fibrous adhesions. That's what some of the, in terms of the research that I looked at, helped in terms of some of the herbal medicines here, which is amazing. So whether it is the horse chestnut, the gotu kola, again, all natural ingredients, butcher's broom, hesperidin, and diosmin. So these are the citrus bioflavonoids that is from our citrus fruits that help. So the white part, the pith of our citrus fruits, so that could be oranges or whatever, grapefruit. So what we use is the white part, and my mom always said, yeah, eat the white part. It's so good for you. It's good for your health. Yeah, well, it's great for your vein health. Actually helps to strengthen your vein walls. And these herbal medicines in combination help to decrease that blood from pooling and helps to strengthen those vein walls, which is amazing. It is incredible, and the testimonials that we have on this product are remarkable as to how well it works in helping people with their venous problems, their varicose veins, spider veins. Again, true to the Vitatree brand, without the magnesium stearate, no synthetic ingredients, no fillers or flow agents. So very, very important that you know as a consumer, of course, that this is just the very best, and everything that is, in the formulation, and all the formulations, is all natural without the fillers and without the flow agents. All right, we will be moving on in just a minute. We'll be right back, and we'll move on to our next item. What if the real path to healing was buried on purpose? Before we had prescriptions and quick fixes, we healed with the sun, with the earth, with grounding, with natural detox, and really watching what we put into our bodies. Well, these are some of the reasons why I wrote my latest book, The Lost Medicine. It's all about rediscovering Mother Nature's prescription for us. She is our best doctor. You can learn more in my latest book. Please check it out. All right, welcome back. And yeah, that was all about my latest book, The Lost Medicine. I'm so happy to have you all here today. We will chat a little bit about this in a few moments. If you don't yet have your copy, I want you to get your copy. You're going to learn so much from my latest book, so that is coming up. But let's move on to our eye health. And I'm so excited about this formula that, I can finally share it with you here on Live Shopping. This is my eye and vision support supplement. This is incredible for supporting those very delicate tissues in the eyes, the retinal cells, of course the macula at the back of the eye, and the lens of the eye. We want that lens of the eye to be nice and clear for that nice clear vision. Now with our modern world and all of our artificial lights and not getting outside enough, this can be very damaging to the lens of the eye. I'm sure you've heard of what a cataract is, so a clouding of the lens of the eye. This is one of the reasons that I developed the Eye and Vision Support to be very protective and preventative for our eye health. And when we look at what happens with a cataract is that it's going to scatter the light. So I actually wanted to become an optometrist, so that I love this formula because it's close and dear to my heart. And for those of you who didn't know that, yeah, that's why I went to do my undergrad at the University of Waterloo here in Canada, and of course wanted to go to the optometry school there, but I changed gears. I learned about naturopathic medicine, and yeah, so coming full circle now to this formula with the Eye and Vision Support. This is so, so important to know that there are specific nutrients that you can take, ingest, that Mother Nature gave us to help to support your eyes. And it makes all the difference in the world for vision. That's why we have so many great testimonials. But this is so important. So with a healthy lens, yes, that light is coming and concentrating at the back of the eye, which is what is supposed to happen. That's how we can see a clear image. Now what happens with a clouding of the lens of the eye is that the light becomes very scattered. So you see how it's not coming to one focus point on the macula, it's coming to all different points, and that is going to scatter the light. And this is often why you can see sort of halos around lights and become sensitive to night driving, and it becomes more difficult to see things because of that clouding of the lens of the eye. And that's why I developed the Eye and Vision Support to really help to support those tissues. So whether it is for the lens of the eye, for those cataracts, so that we can, maintain that healthy and clear lens, but also at the macula. So at the back of the eye, with macular degeneration, one of the things that can happen is that you lose your central focus of what you're looking at. And there's different types of macular degeneration, both wet and dry. This is going to be supporting both of those. And we can see that, again, that damage at the macula at the back of the eye. And that's why the Eye and Vision Support, if we look at the ingredients, maybe we can look at that really quickly. The ingredients in my formula are very concentrated. So the African marigold, if you've heard of lutein and zeaxanthin, maybe even your eye doctor has talked to you about these very important carotenoids. And yes, they do exist in other eye vitamins. Maybe you're even taking one out there. But those eye vitamins, and I looked at all the formulas and I thought, these just are not, up to the Vitatree, my own standard for formulation. They all have synthetic vitamins. They all have the magnesium stearate. They usually have, the synthetic B vitamins, which are derived typically from the petrochemical industry. And they don't always have the natural lutein and zeaxanthin. So the lutein and the zeaxanthin in my formula comes from the African marigold plant, the flower. Oh, I used to have it in my backyard. My mom used to plant it around our pool in the backyard when I was growing up, and I remember it, and she put it there because it helps to ward off mosquitoes. If you knew that already, for all my gardeners out there, please say hello. As well as, of course, carrots. Mom always said, eat your carrots. Why? Because they have beta carotene, which is great for your night vision, helps to support your retinal cells, so really, really important for clear vision. Bilberry and black currant. So these herbal medicines help to support the pressure in the eyes, and also helps to, and we actually have a testimonial about the pressure in the eyes, also helps to support, giving those antioxidants specifically to the lens of the eye and to the macula to protect those delicate tissues. So it's all about the combination and the synergy of the ingredients. Remember, without the fillers, without the flow agents, something that you're ingesting. And the daily dosage on this one is 2 capsules a day. Now, some days, if I'm really, doing a lot of work, and when I was writing my book, I would often take 4 capsules. I did sort of up it a little bit, 2 capsules twice a day. But, that's up to you. If you do have questions like that, then please contact our team and go to Vitatree.com and send an email maybe, or call 1-844-GET-WELL if you do have those questions, and talk to our experts at Vitatree. If you have any questions about any of the formulations, maybe you're taking medication, you're not sure if you could take them. Usually we say at least 1 hour. You're waiting between your medication and taking one of the Vitatree products, but please call them. They're going to answer your questions, and then you'll feel, that you can have that peace of mind with your order when you get it home, which is amazing. And if you're just tuning in right now, today is our deal day, live shopping, never seen before values on our top sellers. And of course, our vitamin D3 is our main item of the day with our deal day. This only lasts for 24 hours, so you got to be quick on this one. And our zinc plus quercetin. And again, these are 2-bottle offers. This is our super sale. This is going to last a little bit longer. So while supplies last, or up to 7 days for our super sale, but our deal day is just for 1 day. So because it's a substantial discount. Now, what I would recommend is that you could go on the subscription of both of these, and that price is going to be guaranteed for up to a year. So that is something that you may want to do that. All right, so continuing on, I want to now talk a little bit more about the Eye and Vision support. So again, those ingredients, 2 capsules a day, super easy to work into your daily life. But the other great thing about the Eye and Vision support is that you can take it with a fatty meal. So the lutein and the zeaxanthin, you may have heard this before. You are taking this with some healthy fats, maybe with, if you're familiar with our Vita fish oil, our fish oil supplement, that combination is great to help with that absorption of those carotenoids right into the eye. And doing eye exercises as well is something that I do talk about in my book, which we are getting to very shortly. And this is fantastic that, help to stimulate that blood flow to the eyes as well with some of those different tips. Okay, this is from Sylvie on the Eye and Vision. This product helps me. I have AMD. When I showed my doctor the Eye and Vision from Vitatree, she said that is very good, and that she could take it. Well, that is amazing for the doctor to be able to say that absolutely about my formulation. All right, another 5-star review, the best from Ursula. I've been using the Eye and Vision since it has been developed. I used to have high pressure in both eyes and had to use drops every night, which I know is a common thing for a lot of people. Since using the Eye and Vision, I no longer have high pressure in the eyes and no longer use prescription drops. I will always use these supplements and have it on subscription. So Ursula, yeah, your shop's a smart shopper, Ursula. So thank you so much for your testimonial. It's amazing that it was able to regulate the pressure in your eyes. I hope that you're watching today, Ursula. I'm so happy to have you all here today, which is so great. All right, we are continuing on now and talking about my latest book. So this is my 3rd book. It's already a national bestseller, and that happened really quick. Like, it happened in like 2.5 days. It became a national bestseller. We just sold so many copies very quickly. So thank you to all of you who have already purchased the book. I know that you're loving it. If you have not yet purchased it, maybe you haven't seen it yet, The Lost Medicine: Rediscovering Mother Nature's Prescription. So it's all about reconnecting with Mother Nature. And what I really wanted to do is sort of hone in on the fact that we've become so disconnected from Mother Nature. And, there's a lot of things missing in, I think, modern medicine, even in naturopathic medicine. So I did a lot of research, and it took me years to complete the entire project, 5 years. A lot of research went into this in terms of what we need to do to make sure that our connection with our inner world is in connection with our outer world, with our environment, with the light. So that's the first chapter. 1 is all about light, as well as sound and how sound can be very healing. I talk about the fact that your circadian rhythms need to be in sync with the light and dark cycle of the day. Sleep, grounding, if you know about that, EMFs, electromagnetic fields, blue light toxicity, which I talk about, really damaging. I didn't even get to that when we talk about the Eye and Vision support. That blue light is so damaging to the eyes. So the Eye and Vision support is something that you can definitely make sure that you're taking to protect your eyes from all your screen time, and of course living under artificial lights all the time, super damaging and causing those cataracts, but also damaging the macula of our eyes. Leptin and leptin resistance, water, diet, thermogenesis, so cold thermogenesis, and also heat and heat exposure and using the sauna and why that's so important for your overall health. The eye-brain network, why that's important. Exercise, the gut microbiome, so making sure that we're taking care of our gut microbiome. Of course, we have microbiome cleansing here at Vitatree. If you tuned in with us last week for our sneak peek of our live shopping, we talked all about our protocols with the Vita Detox and the Paravid, so you can still check those out. They are available. The sale is gone, but they are still available, so that's why you got to be quick. That's what I'm talking about. When we go shopping and live shopping, it's something that we've got to to be quick about in terms of making sure that we are, putting everything in our cart and logging in and doing that quickly on Vitatree.com so that you get those deals and you get them home before we sell out or before the deal is gone. All right, we'll be right back in just a second. What if the real path to healing was buried on purpose? Before we had prescriptions and quick fixes, we healed with the sun, with the earth, with grounding, with natural detox, and really watching what we put into our bodies. Well, these are some of the reasons why I wrote my latest book, The Lost Medicine. It's all about rediscovering Mother Nature's prescription for us. She is our best doctor. You can learn more in my latest book. Please check it out. All right, and we are back. Thank you for tuning in today. I'm Dr. Janine. It's great to have you here. And that was all about my latest book, The Lost Medicine. If you're just tuning in, today is deal day, live shopping just for 24 hours on our first item. It's our 2-bottle offer of our vitamin D3 chewables. They are lemonade flavored. They are delicious, great for the kids as well. 1,000 international units per capsule, standardized to that per capsule, and you're getting 90 capsules per bottle. So this is like, I've never seen this price before. Amazing, amazing offer for you. Again, $41.98 in the US in terms of our subscription price, so incredible. As well as our zinc plus quercetin. All right, I'm going to talk about this in detail now and why it's so important that we're optimizing our zinc levels, and as well as copper. We also have shiitake mushroom in here, and this is our super sale. So our super sale is going to last a little bit longer, so it's up to 7 days or until we run out of our quantity, and things are selling very quickly. So just so FYI, and again at $55.02 USD in terms of a one-time, and here you can do interest-free partial payments. So if that's a better option for you in terms of purchasing, we want to make it easy for you to split out your payments. You can definitely do that. Or if you want to do with subscription again, a little bit of a better deal, yeah. And free shipping here as well. So if you want to sort of lock this in for up to the next year in terms of getting your shipments, you may want to go. This is probably our most popular item in terms of the way that we're shopping, but we leave it up to you. It's totally up to you how you want to purchase today. And yeah, our zinc plus quercetin. So maybe you've heard about, there's lots of obstacles here, but maybe you've heard about zinc and why this is so important for your immune system, and why we have to optimize our zinc levels. And there's a lot of reasons why you may have a zinc deficiency. All right, so if you've got gut health issues, if you take certain medications like something for your acid reflux, that can significantly drop your ability to properly absorb your zinc. Maybe your diet doesn't have a lot of zinc. If you're not eating a lot of seafood and oysters and things, maybe you're not getting zinc. We know that in your diet, because we know that our mineral density from our foods has depleted so much that getting enough of that zinc daily can be a challenge. And even for people, like I eat pretty healthy, but do I get enough zinc all the time? I don't think so. So this is something where, in terms of supplementation, and this is where, a lot of eyeballs were looking at zinc a few years ago with, people being concerned about immunity, that this is why I formulated the zinc plus quercetin. Now, the quercetin, maybe you haven't heard about quercetin before, but quercetin helps with the proper bioavailability, the proper absorption of zinc, because zinc needs a channel, it needs an ionophore, and that's exactly what the quercetin does in the formulation. That's why the capsules are actually that sort of bright greeny yellow type of color, and that's the actual powder inside the capsules. And just FYI, for those of you who don't like to swallow capsules, all the Vitatree products, if it's not a chewable like our D3, our deal day item today, which is delicious, it is a capsule that you can just twist open and then open that up into some water, some juice, right into your mouth. It doesn't really matter to me, but really easy to take, and these are vegetarian capsules. But that quercetin is an ionophore. And what that means is that it's going to open up the channel for that zinc for that proper absorption. So that's why, and it's a zinc bisglycinate. And this is important as well, because that glycine, so in the bisglycinate, is something that we can also be deficient in because of our modern farming and the use of glyphosate and all of these herbicides and pesticides in our modern farming. It can deplete our glycine, and glycine is important. We need to get enough of it because it kind of works like a neurotransmitter. If you've heard of glutathione, it helps to ensure that we've got proper glutathione levels, master antioxidant in our body. So ensuring enough glycine becomes very important. Now, the big thing too with zinc and copper is that they actually compete for absorption. So we don't want to take too much of either of those at the same time. We have to find the right ratio. And again, this is where I did the research. The proper ratio is 12:1 or 12:2 of your zinc to your copper. So this is exactly what you're getting, a 12:1 ratio of your zinc bisglycinate to your copper. And copper is important as well, really important for your skin. I mean, in terms of the beauty aspects of this formula, incredible for your collagen and your elastin levels. Yeah, I know it's great for your sore throat and, you know, your immune system, but hey, if you want to see that side benefit for your skin, or you're just taking this for your skin, it is incredible. Also great for post-workouts, it helps with your muscle recovery, is our zinc plus the copper. Now the quercetin, like I said, is going to open up that channel. It's that ionophore for your zinc for that proper absorption. And shiitake mushrooms. Now there's a very specific reason why I included the shiitake mushrooms in the formula, is because it helps to decrease and quell that cytokine storm. And cytokines are something that can be pro-inflammatory or anti-inflammatory. Well, when your immune system is asked to kind of work and do something, sometimes it can get a little bit overzealous and it can get a little bit overexcited. And we don't want that, because what they were finding was that that was causing a lot of inflammation in the lungs and causing cardiovascular issues in terms of getting sick. So this is so important that you are getting that proper, you know, shiitake mushroom ratio to ensure that we don't have too much of that cytokine storm happening. All right, so question, Sal is asking, are there any supplements that you can't take with zinc? Well, it depends, number one, what type of zinc you're taking. So I would say with the Vitatree zinc, because it is so well absorbed and is not, you know, I would never take probably a high copper supplement with zinc, because they're just going to compete for absorption and kind of cancel each other out. But your zinc, in this case, for most cases, you don't have to worry. Now that's, I mean, a general answer. If there was something specific that you're looking for in terms of asking that question, then definitely ask. But yeah, this combination, and I know what goes into my formulation, so I can speak to my formulations. Other zinc formulas out there, not so sure, and not all the time, because remember, they're using other fillers and flow agents, which adds kind of some complexity to the mix, right? If they're using other things like, for instance, other chemicals like the titanium dioxide, which, by the way, has now been banned in Europe, but still allowed in certain countries, like where I live here in Canada and in North America, it's still allowed in our supplements here. But that makes you wonder, though, why? Why is it still allowed if it's been banned elsewhere? Magnesium stearate as well, that can complicate the issue with your other minerals, because this is a chemical, it's not natural magnesium. So that is a great question, Sal. Thank you for asking that. And JS was asking, already have your copy of my book of the Lost Medicine. JS, thank you so much. I'm so glad. Thank you. Mike was asking, can your kids take, and I'm not sure which one it was. Was it the D3? Yes, the D3 is recommended for children. That's why we made it in the nice, soft, chewable gel caps, which is delicious. And Mike was asking, best time to take, was that the D3? I like the D3 in the morning, if that's the question that you were asking. I like it in the morning. Okay, so zinc plus quercetin. Our reviews, love this product, have been using the Vitatree zinc for 8 months, haven't had a sniffle during that time, which is amazing. And that was from Christopher, and great supplement from Kim. And Kim was saying that best zinc supplement I've ever taken, easy on the tummy. Okay, that's the thing. A lot of other zincs, they'll make you feel nauseous and sick to your stomach. This is not that. And that's because of the absorption, that's because of the zinc bisglycinate, that's because of the quercetin opening up that channel so that it's not going to make you feel sick like other brands that, again, Kim has tried. Love that it also contains quercetin and the copper. Well, thank you so much for that. That is amazing. Thank you for all of your feedback, everyone. And remember, that is on our super sale today. So that is a 30% offer, up to 30% off on our subscription. And again, our deal day item of the day, just for this 24 hours, is our vitamin D3. So please make sure that you're going to Vitatree.com, getting these things in your cart. It is never seen before pricing, and I'm telling you, like on subscription, $37.78 on 2 bottles. Like often that's our 1 bottle price on a lot of our supplements. This is incredible. 2 bottles, 90 capsules each of one of our most populars. It's our vitamin D3 chewables. Absolutely delicious. And of course, we do also have the interest-free partial payments to make it easier for you if you want to do the one-time shipment at $41.99. $19.98. And of course on subscription, so guaranteeing this price for up to a year. And again, free shipping on that deal. So that might be just the way to go for those of you who know that you love this. And even if you're new to it, trust me, you're gonna love how great this tastes. I'm going to remove it from the set here, but these are soft little gel caps and they are lemonade flavored, so absolutely delicious. You will absolutely love them. And depending on dosage, I mean, it is different for everyone. So with vitamin D3, your dosage could be, you know, 1 to, here in Canada, we can say that 2,500 international units. So that would be kind of 2.5 capsules is the sort of standard dosage for adults, that, and even for children, that we can say, of course, that you don't need a prescription. Now, of course, deal with your practitioner or whoever has, you know, suggested that you're taking your vitamin D3 and according to your blood work as well. So it might be a great idea, a great time of year right now that the sun is going away for a lot of us, to actually take your blood work and get your blood work checked for your vitamin D3 level, so you know exactly where you're at, so that you can really, you know, hone in on maybe, you know, optimizing your levels, because it is very different, again, to take it in the fat absorbable form. So because of course, that MCT oils from the coconuts, that's going to help with that proper absorption. This is why you get the results that you're looking for. And really quickly, if we look at the deficiency symptoms of that vitamin D, so when you're low in vitamin D, your body is probably telling you that you are low. So whether it is issues with your gums, with your teeth, it could be low mood, fatigue, depression, it could be asthma, chronic lung issues, a chronic cough, it could be diabetes as well, blood sugar issues, bone density issues, as well as high blood pressure, and of course muscle aches, weakness, and even back pain. Thank you so much to everybody who tuned in today. We have one more hour of live shopping coming up at 7 p.m. so please join me at 7 p.m. Set your reminders, tell all your friends to join me as well. We're going to be coming back to some of these deals if we still have some quantity left, so be quick, put everything in your cart, and make sure that you're shopping Vitatree today on Vitatree.com. Thank you so much for joining me, and we'll see you next time.